Hello everyone. So all of you probably watching are relatively new to my channel because my channel is relatively new. I recently got a suggestion on a Discord server to do some grinding tips. However, I am not probably the best person at grinding because in order to be the best at grinding, you're going to have the right techniques as well as premium. There's just, even if you're a mediocre player and you have premium, you're still going to double the speed at which you are grinding the tanks down to your favorite tank. So like, let's say the normal grind takes 6 months, you have premium, it's going to take 3 months because you have a plus 100% RP for every action in battle. So that's the best way to grind. But I'm going to get into some details on some smaller things that you can do and use to just have fun while you're grinding, and it doesn't make it absolutely horrible and painful as you go through it over the next 3 to 6 months. So first thing is you want to take a look at the tech tree or the country that you start out with. Look through it all, kind of get familiar with most of the vehicles in it, what they do, look at some of like the modifications, and look and be like, okay, this has this amount of penetration for this bullet, this has this. So just look and see, which vehicles am I looking for, trying to get. A lot of people start out with like the Tiger H1 and then move to the Tiger E and start researching the middle tech tree. If you start out by grinding the left tech tree, it might be a little less than what you're looking for. Plus, like the Panther D and the Tiger E, and as you move down, the armor at these tiers are much exceed their BR, in my opinion. So you're not going to be, one shot and you're instantly dead every single time like some other countries at this BR. Secondly, this is a smaller tip, but it is still useful in some ways for if you are a medium time player where you just don't get down and you're just like, I'm going to play 5 hours today and grind. If you're like, I'm going to play 1 or 2 battles. The automatic repair of all vehicles is a pretty good thing to use if you're not going to be playing as much, because it's going to be very helpful with saving you lots of money. So like right here, you can see that the max repair cost for this tank at this current modification level is 4730. I played it the other day and it's now down to 3738. So right there is already 1,000 Silver Lions just by not even playing. And a lot of players, when I first started out the US Tech Tree, it was a pain to try to get enough money to buy modifications and crew and mostly the vehicles, because the repair costs will absolutely kill you. And another good way to save a lot of money is, instead of just like, oh, I want that tank, as soon as you buy the tank and you choose a crew for it and all that stuff, it's like, wait and see, do you really need that tank right now? Yeah, it's going to be really fun to play because it's a new tank. But if you can wait for sales, a lot of times War Thunder has sales every few months. The vehicles will be between 25 to 50% off, which will help you a lot in the long run, where you, instead of grinding and trying to make money, you'll be trying to grind to make research points because you will have enough money. Also, we're going to look at crew. So crew is something that like people pay attention to a decent bit, and it actually helps a lot to know what to put your crew XP points towards. So a lot of things is like the range finding. I started out by putting range finding because I wanted to get a range at lower tiers, but it really does not help you that much for the amount of XP points that you put towards it. You're better off to do like targeting, so you can turn your turret faster. Leadership helps with a lot of basically everything. Tank loading, you want to make sure your weapon reloading is very fast, which is what I have here on the M1A1. I have like max weapon reloading, decent leadership, max targeting, max tank driving, stuff that you're actually going to be able to notice while you are playing. And that's a big way to kind of help you get an edge over other people, especially at lower tiers. So how I usually like to play is to start at a spot where you're going to start that spot basically every time given a certain circumstance, and you have to learn basically specific parts of the map. And once you learn those parts of the maps, it'll benefit you a lot because you'll have sneaky little areas that you can get into where your tank isn't terribly exposed, and your tank won't be terribly exposed, and you'll know where they like to go on the enemy team, where you can counter them and figure out how the other players react, and then you can set up based on that, and that will help you a ton from just not getting killed, because a big amount of research points in specific is whether or not you get through the entire battle, and especially if you win. I think it's like plus 100 research points if you win the battle. So if you can get through a battle and win it, even if you did mediocre, you're going to make just as much, if not more, than if you just busted butt into a cap zone, got one kill, died. So the biggest part about this game is longevity. But a smart thing to do is to never go into a cap point unless you know it is relatively safe, because a lot of people will cap points on the other team and then just sit there waiting for somebody to come in, and then they have an easy kill, as well as if they do get in, let's say like I got in right here and I halfway uncap it, well then they can come back in and get more points by capping it again after they kill you. Which is what this guy did right here. Is as I was capping it again, he came back in and tried to stop me from capping it, which luckily I could hear his engine over there and came around the corner here, and then because it was just an M18, wasn't a whole lot he could do to me, and I don't even think he really saw me. Another good tip is listening. If you have a good pair of headphones, direction is a huge part in playing, especially in close quarter combat. It's something that you don't really hear about is headphones, but that's going to be a big part in helping you know where the enemy is at. So like right there, I died before about the middle of the game, and you can see that you will not get very many research points. So yeah, the biggest thing is to just have fun, because if you don't, the grinding process is going to be terribly difficult. You're going to end up probably not even playing at all, because you can't get to where you want to be fast enough. And basically just be patient with the game. If you have a couple bad games in a row, don't just give up and call quits on it. Play through it, be slower, be more tactful with the way you approach capture points, and that's basically it. So have a good one, and remember to angle.